Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Do you know anything about Islam?
Not much, but sure. I'll check it out.
Do you believe in God yourself?
Good question.
Okay.
I don't know.
Have you thought of it before? I mean, if you have time,
I
sorry.
mean, it's always a bit of a question. I don't know.
Okay.
I think there's probably something.
Yeah, well, that's a good
but-
point to start, actually.
Yeah, probably something. Is it many things? Is it one thing?
Do you
I
think
don't-
we
don't
can
really
know,
know.
actually? Or, like, if we think about it or we try to, like, use our rationale, do you think we can find answers?
I don't know. I think
Okay.
it might be just something that we're not meant to understand
Okay.
fully. I think it just might be one of the mysteries.
Mysteries of the world, yeah?
Yeah, just be a good person and you'll be
Okay.
fine.
I see what you're saying, but I think from the process that I did, right? I started with because we kind of have these questions like all humans, right? Once they hit certain age or like in some period of their life, right? They start asking these what's called existential questions, right? Yeah, exactly. Philosophers like notice that everyone kind of have these questions, and at some point in their life, right? They start like, oh, like, you know, like what are we doing here? You know, like where did we come from? All these things, right? I would start with these questions because they seem to be genuine and reoccurring to everyone, right? So what do you think? Do you think the universe or us or this whole existence came from something or nothing?
Probably something.
Okay. Probably or for sure?
Probably. It's not. Well, it didn't come from nothing. There was
Yeah,
definitely
exactly.
some type of matter
Yeah.
that was always there.
That's why I would say that for sure we came from something by the process of elimination, because the other option is kind of like absurd. Like our minds can't grasp the idea that we came from nothing, absolutely nothing. Would you agree that we came from something?
Probably, yeah. I think that the whole scientific theory and religion don't contradict each other.
I agree with you.
Like, for example, I know it's not the same religion, but in the
Christianity?
in the Bible it said, and first there was light.
In the beginning, yeah. God created,
In
yeah.
the beginning there was nothing, and then there was light.
Yeah.
What proves that that's not the Big Bang? You know, it's the same thing.
There's
there was nothing, and
yeah.
boom, explosion.
The two things here. I know many, let's say, Western people, like the Western world in general,
Yes.
they have some bad experience with Christianity, you know,
Yes.
especially in the medieval period, right?
Absolutely.
And especially scientists, you know, when in the Enlightenment period, you know, they started to question things. It's like, you know, we should actually reevaluate our view of religion, life, you know, the Bible, you know, let us read it and all these things.
Yes.
There was a lot of, you know, bad experience in there. Second thing, I would say that science, the way it was put, it has limits.
Yes.
Because it's intrinsic in the scientific theory or scientific method to be limited. Because it was, if it was limitless, it's unverifiable. You know, because the whole premise of science is that we can, you know, verify theories. You know, we can try them, test them. If it's okay, we can go with them. If it's not okay, try new things, right? So it's in the very nature of science to be, like, let's say, renewable, you know, like to verify things, to test them and all these things. So I think they stop at the limits of the physical world. That's why I would say that science would not work beyond this. And one of the things is the origin of the universe, God, philosophy, feelings, you know, concept. All these things are in the metaphysical world. Yeah, science wouldn't be able to test them. I can't take them to the lab, you know, and see, you know, exactly. So that's why we're using a different tool than science in assessing this question, right? We're using religion, philosophy, logic, you know, common sense, things that can actually reach these things, you know? So when I say, for example, does this whole existence came from something or nothing? It is logically has to be one or the other, because, yeah, like if two of them together can't be the case because it's contradiction, right? And it's like saying like something and not something at the same time, right? So it has to be one or the other. The second thing is that, just like I said, like our like logical faculty kind of find it absurd to say, "Oh, we came from nothing." It's like on so many levels, like we are something, we're like blessed, let's say, or we're like a matter or something. How can it come from nothing? Because the nothing itself lacks the very thing that it gave us. Like nothing is literally by definition the lack of or the absence of. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, how can we be
Exactly. How can we come from nothing? That's one thing. So I would say it's like very clear that we came from something. Now it's only the process of figuring out, what is this thing, and all these things. What do you think of this? Like, yeah.
I think it's probably a good guess as to what we come from, as to everything. Um, the one thing that bothers me with institutionalized religion,
Yeah.
everything is just you kind of have to think a certain way,
Uh-huh.
and you're not free to explore of your own, with. I'm going to use Christianity as
Yeah.
the example because they've just
Yeah,
been
yeah.
absolutely brutalizing
Yeah,
anyone
yeah.
that doesn't think like
Yeah.
that. That's what I like about Islam, is that it seems to be a bit more, you do philosophy, you use logic, so it's like you're more free
Yeah.
of thought compared
Yeah.
to other...
Yeah, it's actually a fun thing. I don't want to slander Christianity. I'm like, there are no Christians to speak with, but in the medieval period,
Yes.
everyone knows like Dark Ages in the West and everything, right? But they forget that like on the other side,
Yes.
it was the golden age of Islam.
Exactly.
All the universities, the science, all the fundamental sciences that we are using right now, they founded in the Muslim world, in the medieval period,
Yes.
But that's why I'm saying for now, for like exploring this question, like let's forget about religion as a whole. The question about does God exist or does He not exist does not require religion, because you're gonna find people like spiritual, people like they believe in God, they believe in something, right? But they don't specifically follow any religion, but they still like arrived at the conclusion that there must be something for this ceremony, there must be some creator or something that like caused us to exist. That's what I say is that before even going into religion, the question is that does God exist is kind of like the only logical conclusion, right, that you can come to when you think of the thing like from just a rational, commonsensical point of view.
Yes.
Like just like we talked about the coming from something and nothing. It's like how you can give something that you don't have. The same thing actually would make me say that the thing that caused us to exist, we came from something, right? What's that thing? Is more than just a thing. I think we can do better. Like, just like reflecting, like, for example, right? If that thing caused the universe to exist, right? And let's say the universe had like all these laws, all these physical laws, or these like even like so much engineering in it, let's say, right? It's like not just laws floating in the air, but working in harmony together to produce like very, to us at least in the earth, like very livable environment, and like a balance in the universe in general. So it would be absurd to think that the thing that caused us lacked all these things, like to do all these things you need like knowledge, at the very least like minimum knowledge. You're gonna need like power, like to generate all these things. Like you're gonna need some kind of wisdom, like to be able to put all these together in a meaningful way, right? Not just like put them together and that's it, right? So just by doing all these things, by like using this kind of simple logical process, you can kind of say that it's not just thing, it's more of a rational agent, who decided in one point in time to create everything, right? He decided to put this thing here and not there. He decided to join these things. He had the knowledge to create our bodies, let's say, and all these things. So you kind of like naturally think of the thing that created us as the creator, as a conscious agent, a conscious thing, not just like some energy floating in the air.
Absolutely.
Would you agree with that?
I would say it is conscious. I think if God existed, he's in every single one of us. It's not like a guy in the sky. It's not. I would say if God exists, He is all of us. He's every single being, every single plant, everything that's alive, and even everything that isn't alive. The earth itself, everything that's natural. That's God to me.
I would say that can't be the case.
Yeah.
Because of the original question of did the universe come from something or nothing? What you're basically saying that the universe came from itself. Like the very universe is the thing that created itself. And again, that would be another it's a very very common. It's called self-generation. Like it's like imagine if like a mother gave birth to itself.
Yeah.
That would be impossible. So again, like what I was trying to convey is that when we think of it, in objective, fair way, the conclusion that you kind of come up with aligns perfectly with the Islamic idea of God. So that's my connection between God and Islam. That's my connection with people who are using their own natural sense of the world to know who really actually created us. And when they use it correctly and they come up with this concept, they're going to find the only religion to align with this concept is Islam. For example, in Christianity, they believe Jesus is God, right?
Yes.
Who is a human being, right? That's like, even without explaining, we naturally know, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would I worship someone or recognize someone as God? Just like you and me, right? That's why we say in God, actually there's very, if anyone would like to know God, in Islam, it's very here. We even printed it on the cover.
Yeah, I have a Quran at home.
Oh, you do? English?
In French, but yeah.
Yeah, it's basically, it says to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, say, O Prophet, He is God, one and indivisible, God, the sustainer needed by all. He has never had offspring, nor was He born, and there is none comparable to Him. That's basically God in Islam, right?
Yeah,
and that's
so essentially, if I get your perspective, so let's say the scientific theory says that the universe it's made of matter. It's made of molecules, and the molecules that are in the universe have not changed since the creation, which we can call God or the Big Bang, but in this case it would be created by God. So essentially, we are all the building blocks that were created by God, and so that's how we're able to create. We're just kind of using all the building blocks, all the molecules
that are already there.
That have been given to us by a supreme being.
Yeah, that again would not contradict Islam, right? Again, Islam tells you that just like God created you, right?
Yes.
Like He gave you something called, for example, intelligence, right? So how can He give you something that He Himself lacks, right? Yeah. So He must have knowledge to give you knowledge, right? Yeah, that's true. That's why we say, for example, we are knowledgeable and God is knowledgeable, right? But you cannot compare them because there's no comparison, right? God, who created all these things, the amount of knowledge required is unimaginable. Yet us, we're limited in knowledge, obviously, right? So just to actually reflect on yourself, you can see that God is have all these attributes. At the same time, we do not say that God is a human. We say God is transcendent from His creation.
Yes.
We say you do not have to be the creation itself to understand the creation. You don't have to be a phone to create a phone. Exactly, right? Yes. The same thing. But the thing about science, right? Remember what we said in the beginning, that science has limits, right? One of these limits, I would say, God, obviously, because He's beyond matter or the 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 test method of the scientific theory, right? And even if you were like track back, like using science, the existence or like the universe, you can only go as far as the Big Bang, right? Which is basically like the like starting point, right? But to say that what was behind that point, right? What was before that point, you're gonna have to use philosophy or logic, something that metaphysical, right?
Yes.
And again, many people say, oh, like Islam, if the science says something and the Quran says another thing, that's like Islam debunked. That's fine. We cannot follow it, right? But saying that goes against the very spirit of science itself. Remember what we talked about science, how it's renewable, ever changing, right? So to think about any scientific fact and say that's set in stone.
Oh, that's not
exactly that against it, exactly, right?
No, science is
So we should, if we have the truth from science, like shut up, shut the labs, and we don't need to do more research. Yeah, exactly.
Itself.
That's why we say if you have something, like let's say you verify the Quran is from God, right? And you verify that the Quran is something from the Creator, right? So it must be true. He had all knowledge, right? So when he dictated something, he didn't miss anything. So what he dictated is going to be perfect. It's going to be lacking no knowledge. It's going to be always correct, right? Let's say you did that. If you did that and you verify that the Quran is the word of God, right? That's one thing. Another thing, let's say you have something from science that says specific thing that goes against the Quran. It's most likely that science is going to turn out to be wrong in the future because it's ever changing. And in fact, that happened with the Quran many times. Before the discovery of the expansion of the universe, like the what they call it, like the red light and the blue light coming from the back of the universe, all these things. The previous theory of the universe was called the static theory of physics, right? They were saying the universe is static, is not expanding, is not moving. It was there forever. We do not have any evidence otherwise, right? And it was set in stone. It was like the prominent theory in physics. Anyone who would challenge even this, like, you're unscientific, all these things. Yet the Quran was challenging this. The Quran was saying that God saying in the Quran saying that we have created the heavens and earth and we are expanding it, continuously. So obviously many scientists, the Quran's wrong, it's unscientific and all these things, and then obviously it would turn out that the science was wrong. Yeah, exactly. When they discovered the new theory and of physics of the universe, obviously they changed all these things.
It's funny how many things from that religion that science has actually confirmed.
Yeah. Again, that's another thing. Actually, we would say that when the Quran is giving you scientific facts about, or like facts about the universe in general, not just science, like in physics, for example, biology or like geology, all these things, they come from a source. Supposedly, if you verify that, that is perfect. So these information should be taken as perfect. And again, in fact, the Quran itself tells you, like. The only book in the universe, a religious book at least, that I can think of, that gives you this test, this way of testing it, right? It tells you, like, listen, if you want to test this Quran, I got you. If you think this book is from anyone other than the Creator, just find a mistake, find a contradiction, find inconsistency. And this challenge has been like 1400 years ago until now.
Nobody has.
Exactly. That's the whole point. And like it's so, you think it's like so bold from a book to say, I'm very sure if you want to disprove me, it gives you the way to disprove you, to disprove the Quran. Like go find a mistake and all these things. Yeah, so again, that's our perspective of God, of the universe. We believe that this Creator created us for a reason because, to do anything, you have will and intention behind it. And when He created us, He had will and intention. He had purpose for us. So He created us for a purpose. And He didn't just leave us like, wandering in the world or something. We believe He reached out to us out of His perfectness, right? Out of His perfect attributes to answer these questions, to give us guidance, to tell us what we should do, where did we come from, where we're going to go, what's going to happen, because we don't believe this life is the end, right? And this came in the form of guidance or religious books carried by the prophets. That's why we believe in all the prophets and messengers. Last one of them, the one who came with the Quran, is Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Prophet Muhammad.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's basically the core message of Islam: to believe in one God and His prophets and messengers, including His message, and to live your life according to His will, according to and recognizing God, basically, and living your life worshiping Him. And worship in Islam is not just like going to the temple, and worship could be anything you do for the sake of Allah, for the sake of God. Like if you, for example, you're good at your studies, right? That's worship, basically, because you're doing it for the sake of God. You're gonna better the community and all these things.
Right. Yeah.
That would be all form of worship. So that's basically Islam. This is a good pamphlet, and this as well, to be honest. Oh, you took one.
I have one.
Yeah. I don't know, I talked too much. Sorry for that.
Oh, good. No, it's interesting.
I would like to hear your opinion on that.
Well, it's always kind of wondered. I'm a socialist.
Okay.
From a political point of view, I don't believe in capitalism, in contradictions.
Yeah.
It brings all the suffering. What would be your perspective on that? From
Yeah.
What would be that perspective? Morally of the act of profiting off of somebody else.
Obviously, it would be forbidden. In Islam, there is a general rule that says "La darar wa la dirar." There should be no harm in any of your actions, or you harm yourself in any of your actions. Actually, one of the biggest sins in Islam is interest, which is like capitalism is built on interest, right?
Yes, absolutely.
The idea of the banks and all these things.
Yes.
But Islam has its own unique financial, moral, societal system, because it's not like Christianity that lacks all these things. It's very sophisticated. The Prophet himself, peace be upon him, he established a state and he implied the Sharia law. It's like a haram word right now, right? The Sharia law would be the religion itself, like everything that God dictated, right? So we have laws and let's say verses about how to do dealings with each other, banks, interest, whatnot, trading, regulations. It's very sophisticated. But to answer the question, if you would to assess the Islamic system in terms of socialism versus capitalism, it would be something in between. Yeah. It wouldn't go as extreme as capitalism, to the point of individualism, materialistic. The most important thing is just to gain profit no matter what, right? It's gonna factor in a lot more social, moral factors, religious as well. Like it is in Islam, is like very, very important when you're doing anything, not just like trading, or to have in your mind God and be fearing of God. So you don't cheat, you don't just scam people, create something and do a lot of branding and whatnot, and then you're just selling them nothing.
Oh, check it out.
Yeah, if you have any questions, and please think of the more of the religious things that we talked about.
Sure.
The idea of believing in God or not believing in God, because again, we say is that this life is not the end. We're not just gonna live and die and that's about it. The whole purpose just to eat, drink, and have fun. There's more than that. In fact, the bigger purpose is the next life, which what we call the hereafter, or the next life, or the last day when you all these things, and your situation in the next life is going to be based on what you did in this life. So to us, this life would be more like a test, right? You study in this life, God gave you everything you need. He gave you the questions in advance. He gave you the answers in advance. All you need is to study, and wait for the results in the next life, right? And the next life is going to be eternal, and it's one chance,
Yes.
In fact, yeah, let me give you this pamphlet as well. Yeah, sorry, too many pamphlets. Please, it was very nice talking to you.